Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to create, read, update, and delete from files today. So first let's talk about how to create a file, and the way we do this is by first saying open and then the file name that you want to create, and I'm going to have a file that has the names of a bunch of people and also their ages. So I'm going to say open people. I want the file name to be people, and it's going to be a text file, so .txt is the extension. And then in a comma, this is where you put the mode that you want to open it in. So to create a file, you need to put it in W for write, and keep in mind that there's also R for read and A for append. So let's open it up in write mode. And then after it's created, I want it to print out done for me, just so I'll know. And let's run it. So it says done, which means it's done. So let's open up people.txt that is just created. So I'm going to split it so you can see both. And now let's write into the file. So since it's in write mode, we can already write into it. And here, first, let's change this open people.txt into a variable. And I'm going to call it people underscore file is equal to open people.txt, comma w. So what this open actually does here is it doesn't open the file. It actually finds the address of the file and then it puts it into this variable. So whatever I say to this variable is what's going to happen in the file. So now let's write a person and their age into it. So the way we do that is by just saying people underscore file dot write, and I'm just gonna say whatever I want to write. So the first person I'm gonna put in is Bob, who is 16. And if we run that, there you go, Bob is 16. And also it's better to say people underscore file dot close after you're done. So now if we do this again after deleting this, Bob 16, and then it's closed. Although after we created the text file and have written some stuff into it, write is not a good way to continue adding stuff to it. And let me show you why. Let's say I wanted to add Sarah and her age is 18, and I use write and I run it. It clears the whole file and writes Sarah. And that's what write does. If the file is already existing, all it does is just clear the file and then write what you want it to. It doesn't actually add anything. So the way we add something is by using append, like I said earlier. So I say A, you can keep it as file.write, and now if I make it Bob and 16, and I should put a new line at the beginning, so /n, and now it should give me Sarah and 18 and Bob and 16. And we can do this for another value. Let's say Alice, and she is 20. And there you go. Now let's talk about how to read from this file. So instead, we have to change this A to the R for read, and we say, let's say print it out, print the whole file out. So print people dot read, and we run this, and it gives us the file. And let's say we only want to read the first line, so we can just say read line here. And what this does is it just reads the first line. And in this little thing, we can say, in the parentheses, we can say how many characters of the first line. So if I only wanted to read her name is 5 characters, I can say 5, and it gives me just her name. Now, if I wanted to read multiple lines, there are two ways I can do this. The first way is by just saying file read line multiple times. So if I say it twice, it gives me Sarah and Bob. And if I say it 3 times, it will give me Sarah, Bob, and Alice. And now the second way is by saying using a for loop, and we say for line or whatever variable we want to make in people file and print line. And that will print out every line. So now let's talk about how to delete a line. And this is actually a little bit tricky because there's no special function that just deletes a line from a file. So we're going to have to do this manually. So the way we're going to be doing this is by first changing this file into a list of strings where each string is one line from the file. So the way we're going to be doing this is by making a variable called people underscore list, and let's make this equal to people file dot read lines. And what this will do is it'll make this into a list where it reads every line. So let's just print this out. So I'll just show you what it does. So people list, and just put enter there. And so this is going to be the list. And as you can see, each value in the list is a string where the string is one line. So now, if we head over to our main.py again, instead of saying people.list, let's say we wanted to delete Sarah. So I would just say, remember, to delete a value from a list, we say people.list, or the name of the list, and .pop the index value. And even though Sarah is the first line, remember that indexes start at 0, so it's actually going to be pop the 0th index. And now if we print the people.list, we will get just Bob and Alice. So now what we need to do is we need to first close it and then change it to write mode. So we make a new people file and we say is equal to, let me just put a space there, and is equal to opening people.txt in write mode. And remember that write mode deletes it clears the whole thing, and then it writes on top of that. So now I can say people file dot write lines, and this is going to basically just put the list into the file, write lines of the list. So now, and then we have to close it. We always want to close it, it's good practice. So people file dot close. And now we should have just Bob and Alice. And there you go. That is how you delete lines from a file, even though you normally don't want to delete lines from a file. But it's just better that I show you how to do that. And now let's talk about how you delete a whole file. Okay, so the way to do this is actually really easy. We can just delete all of this, and all we need to say is import OS, and we need to import this because there's no way to do this without importing OS. And OS is a built-in module, so you don't have to use pip to install it. And now I just say os.remove, and then I put the file name in, so people.txt. And if I click enter here, run, We can see that people.txt is closed, and if we look over here, there's no people.txt, and that's pretty much it. That's how we work with files in Python, and that's going to be all for this video. Bye!